pitch with the Oilers. Now is the time. Please enter the field through the Oilers dugout. Have some fun playing catch with the guys. stand open, having to fail, and clearance bin, as well as buy one, get one half off. So go check that out. Also, if you weren't aware, tonight is the big night. The 2026 Chevy Trax goes home to somebody tonight, and we're selling tickets up until the 7th inning. If you haven't gotten a raffle ticket yet, or you want to buy a few more, this is the last chance. We are drawing the winner tonight. Big one here at Bradner Stadium. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we welcome you to historic Bradner Stadium for tonight's matchup between the Jamestown Tarp Skunks and your Olean Oilers. Let's get started with the starting lineups. First for the visiting Tarp Skunks. In center field, number 2, Grant Moore. The second baseman, number 6, Eric Weeks. On first base, number 14, Nolan Smith. The designated hitter, number 11, Anthony Trommer. The extra hitter, number 30, Dominic Costello. The catcher, number 4, Paul Delanto. In right field, number 44, Nate Muncy. The third baseman, number 15, James Dixon. At shortstop, number 43, Jackson Ross. In left field, number 39, C.J. Dugan. And starting on the mound for the Tarp Skunks, number 16, Joseph Santos. The Tarp Skunks are managed by Joe Riedebach. And now, let's meet your Olean Oilers. Brought to you by Callahan Vending. In need of vending service, look no further. Callahan Vending is here for your needs and is located right here in Olean. The third baseman from Mercyhurst, number 23, Derek Stout. The second baseman from John Carroll, number 20, Thomas. The designated hitter from Delaware, number 26, Aiden Willer. Sales, number 22, Brian Fleming. The left fielder from William and Mary, number 34, Cooper Torley. The extra hitter from Bryant and Stratton, number 17, Jack Pinsker. The first baseman from Millersville, number 8, Christo Hunsaker. The shortstop from Binghamton, number 41, Keegan McGilligan. The center fielder from Delaware, number 30, Brent Fournier. Starting on the mound for your Oilers, calculation number 65, Chris Olean. Olean is managed by Mike Treehouse, assisted by John Fry, Eric Hatfield, BJ Salerno, and Jake Meeker. Ladies and gentlemen, Todd America, and all members of the United States Armed Forces, past, present, we ask that you please rise if you are able to remove your hats for the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
The regular season is winding down, but action in the West Division of the Perfect Game Collegiate Baseball League is heating up as we reach the end of the regular season and get ready for the postseason. Hello, everybody. I'm Matt Voltz, and welcome to Bradner Stadium for tonight's game between the Olean Oilers and the Jamestown Tarp Skunks. It's been a much better last few weeks for the Oilers than the first bit of their season. 2 weeks ago, an 11-7 home loss to Elmira put the Oilers way out of pace in the West Division and seemed to knock them completely out of contention for being in really any sort of conversation even for the postseason. Since then, the Oilers have played 8 games. They have won 7 of them, including the last 2 in a row, including an 8-2 win over these same Jamestown Tarp Skunks right here at Bradner Stadium last night. The Oilers come into play tonight at 18-17, tied with the Elmira Pioneers for 4th in the West Division, and just 2 games back of the Auburn Double Days for 3rd. So the conversation of postseason not necessarily over, but the Oilers definitely have some work to do. As for the Jamestown Tarp Skunks, their path to the postseason is pretty much already set. 24-10-2, second place in the West Division, only a game and a half behind Batavia. They've still got a shot to win the division, depending on how things go this weekend. But the Oilers looking to take advantage of a Jamestown team that's hit a little bit of a late season snag. Jamestown has lost 3 in a row, of course, including the game here last night. Chris Lyetta, the left-hander, will take to the mound. He's been phenomenal for the Oilers this year. And the first pitch to the left-hander, Grant Moore, is a called strike, and we are underway at 6:30 on the dot. Grant Moore, a left-handed hitting center fielder. He gets to start out in center for Jamestown tonight. 0-1 pitch is swung on and missed. Lyetta quickly ahead, 0-2. Chris Lyetta, a native of Point Pleasant, New Jersey, going into his sophomore year at Felician. 0-2 pitch, swing and a miss. He struck him out. Boy, a quick start for Chris Lyetta as he strikes out Grant Moore on just the first 3 pitches of the ball game. We'll take a look at the Tarp Skunks Batting order, Grant Moore leading off. Of course, we saw him strike out. Eric Weeks at the plate now. Nolan Smith will bat in the 3 spot. Anthony Trommer is the DH. He'll bat 4th. Dominic Costello, the EH, he will bat 5th. Paul Delanto, the catcher, he'll bat 6th. Nate Muncy will bat 7th as the first pitch to Eric Weeks is high. 8-spot hitter is James Dixon. Jackson Ross will bat 9th, and CJ Dugan comes to the plate in the 10 spot. 1-0 pitch from Laeta. That one's up high, ball 2. Looking at the season numbers for Chris Laeta, joined the Oilers a little bit later in the year, but has been absolutely fantastic. This is only his second start of the season. He's been primarily used out of the bullpen, pitching to a 2.16 ERA this year. 2-0 pitch is low, ball 3. And to that point of pitching well, opposing batters hitting just 194 off of him. So he's been very effective in a little bit over 8 innings of work for the Oilers this summer. 3-0 pitch. That one just misses, ball 4. So after a 3-pitch strikeout, it's a 4-pitch walk. Jamestown has their first base runner of the night. And now Nolan Smith will come to the plate. Another lefty in the Tarp Skunks batting order. Their first baseman tonight wears number 14. Nolan Smith, not to be confused with the pass rusher for the Philadelphia Eagles, Nolan Smith. Laeta looks over at first base. Eric Weeks hoping to use his speed. First pitch to Smith is inside. That turns him away from the plate. Weeks on the year has stolen 21 bags. That is the second most of any player on the Jamestown team. 1-0 pitch misses. He's now missed with 6 straight. Laeta's got to work to find that zone again. 21 out of 22 stealing this year for Eric Weeks. Only Tarp Skunk who has stolen more bases is Grant Moore, who struck out to lead off the game. 2-0 pitch is low, ball 3. You know, Brian Carruthers might go have a word with Laeta after a blazing fast start. A 3-pitch strikeout to Grant Moore, in which he swung and missed at 2 of those. Laeta has not thrown a strike since. The 3-0 pitch. That one catches the zone. He had to throw one in the zone there, and did. Nolan Smith from Hamburg plays all over the infield, but gets the start at first. 3-1 from Laeta, swung on and fouled back. So a good job by the lefty Chris to fight back, and of course no surprise to see a left-handed pitcher having a bit more success against other lefties than a right-handed hitter. That oftentimes is the case. And the 3-2 pitch from Laeta, strike 3 called, he froze him. Oh, Nolan Smith thought he was getting a walk. And at the end of the day, it's strikeout number 2 in the inning for Laeta. What a job by Chris Laeta. A 4-pitch walk and was behind 3-0 on Nolan Smith. Came back to strike him out. And all he needed was just 3 pitches to do that. None extra fouled away by Smith or anything like that. So now 2 outs for the DH, Anthony Trommer. First pitch to him, a big swing, and he comes up empty. Trommer, a right-handed bat, is the DH tonight for Jamestown. Batting .319 on the year, has driven in 10. 0-1 from Laeta, runner goes, pitches outside and not held onto by Brian Carruthers. So Eric Weeks has the stolen base, and that'll get him in a scoring position, as well as be stolen base number 22 on the year. 22 out of 23 stealing. He's been very, very effective. He's arguably been a better base stealer than Grant Moore, who has stolen more bags, but Grant Moore's been caught stealing 3 times on the year. Just once for Eric Weeks. Laeta looks at the runner behind him. 1-1 pitch to Trommer, fouled away. So a great start. Looked like things were starting to head a bit south, but Ladd has done some nice work to put himself in a good position, trying to finish off the DH, Anthony Trommer. Runner in scoring position behind him, though. And the 1-2 pitch to Trommer. That skips in the dirt and heads to the backstop. So Weeks will head for third. It'll be 2-2 coming up to Trommer, which with it being 2 outs, if you can get Trommer out, you're not particularly worried about that, but still something you want to be careful of course. So Ladd will try and see if he can get something. You don't mind throwing something that's, a little bit outside the zone. You don't mind trying to get Trommer to chase, but you do have to be careful so as to not allow that run to come home from third. 2-2 pitch to Trommer. Oh, just missed. Ball 3. Not by much, just missed in. That's a gutsy take by Trommer for sure, but the count goes full. Works out for him, and Ladd is going to have to throw a good one here. The 3-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Well, Chris Laetta starts off with a blazing hot strikeout on 3 pitches of Grant Moore. A 4-pitch walk to Eric Weeks. Was behind 3-0 on Nolan Smith, and then came right back to strike out Smith and Anthony Trommer. We're going to the bottom of the first. Oilers lineup coming to bat for the first time tonight. No score between Jamestown and Olean. Bottom of the first, Oilers lineup coming to bat for the first time tonight after Chris Laetta did a nice job to get himself out of what looked for a second like it was going to be a potentially treacherous spot, but 3 strikeouts in the inning. Now the Oilers lineup will go to bat against Jamestown's lefty, and Derek Stout swings and hits the first pitch to right center, a base hit. That's going to be a slow roller, go most of the way to the wall, and Derek Stout is going to have a stand-up leadoff double. Derek wasting 0 time, swinging at the first pitch from Joseph Santos and putting himself immediately in scoring position. Derek Stout, of course, was one of the Oilers' 2 mid-season All-Stars. The other coming to the plate right now, Thomas Bates. Bates, the Olean native, getting another start at second base, batting .327. Bates has driven in 20 on the year. Only one who has driven in more is the man at second base. Derek Stout has driven in 29. Against the left-hander, Joseph Santos. First pitch to Bates. He won't swing at the first one, and he'll take ball 1. Take a look at the Oilers' batting order against the left-hander Santos, who has been remarkable for Jamestown this year, but is only making his second start. He's been almost every single appearance has been out of the bullpen. 1-0 pitch to Bates, misses ball 2. So Stout and Bates, the top 2 hitters. Aiden Willard, the DH, will bat third. Brian Carruthers, the Oiler catcher, who is on an absolute tear offensively, batting in the cleanup spot. Brian Fleming will bat 5th. Cooper Tarley 6th. Jack Painter is the EH. He'll bat 7th. Christo Hunsaker 8th. Keegan McElligott 9th. And Grant Fournier comes to the plate in the 10 spot. 2-0 pitch to Thomas Bates, number 20, is high, ball 3. So Bates in great command against Joseph Santos, who is... Santos is making his 14th pitching appearance of the year, but only his second start, so he's pretty much exclusively been a reliever. The 3-0 pitch catches the zone, strike 1. Bates thought for sure that was inside. He had already taken a step towards first, and he's going to have to head back to the batter's box. Santos carries with him a 2.88 ERA and a 3-0 record. So again, he's been very good, but has not seen the first inning of games really a whole lot. 3-1 pitch. That one misses high, ball 4. Bates waited an extra second to make sure that that indeed was ball 4. And the first 2 have reached in the top of the first. That is one thing that you sometimes worry about when pitchers who are primarily, and in his case almost exclusively, relievers and are really not used to being starters. Sometimes in the early going of the game, they do get a little bit shaky. First 2 have reached here. And another lefty for the Oilers. The DH, Aiden Willard, will bat. First lefty we'll see today, but certainly not the last. First pitch misses ball 1. Santos wears number 16. Oilers have seen him a few times this year, but those out of the bullpen, not in a start. 1-0 pitch, catches the zone, strike 1. Looking at the defensive arrangement for the Jamestown Tarp Skunks, Paul Delanto, who we've seen many times in the DH or EH spot, is behind the plate. Nolan Smith at first, Eric Weeks at second, James Dixon at third, and Jackson Ross at short. 1-1 pitch to Willard, strike 2. The outfield for Jamestown, C.J. Dugan is in left field, Grant Moore in center, and Nate Muncy is in right. We've seen Dugan play both left and center, but with Grant Moore being pretty good in center field, they moved Dugan over. The 1-2 pitch to Willard, misses, ball 2. And the Oilers regular season winding down. They will head north of the border tomorrow to face the Ironbacks before finishing the regular season right here on Sunday at 4 o'clock against Niagara Falls, as the 2-2 pitch misses way up high, ball 3. And those are 2 games against teams that are below the Oilers in the West Division standings, so certainly an opportunity to make some noise to close out the regular season. The 3-2 pitch, that one swung on and hit on the ground to second, flipped to second for 1. That's the only play they'll have. It's going to be a fielder's choice as Willard will reach first out of the first inning, but the Oilers still have 2 on. And that brings up the catcher, Brian Carruthers. Boy, this guy has hit the ball well over the last couple of weeks. Again, another late addition. Another late addition to the team, but he's played just 5 games, but is batting .438. He's been really good. And he's driven in 9 runs. They'll check on Willard at first, and he's back in safely, although a little bit of a closer play than the Oilers are comfortable with. Carruthers, a right-handed bat from Bethlehem, New York. First pitch to him is inside. This will be a big opportunity for Olean to jump ahead and jump on Joseph Santos early. Carruthers, by the way, going into his junior year at Florence Darlington Tech. They'll check on Willard at first, and he's back in safely. That's, you know, a pickoff throw like that. You think typically with pickoff throws, you want it to be with the element of surprise. I mean, Willard had plenty of time to get back because of Santos kind of delayed the windup for the throw over to first. 1-0 pitch to Carruthers, catches the inside corner. Of course, the other added element is that, trying to steal second off of a lefty pitcher, it is a lot tougher to do because you figure, lefty pitcher's going to be staring right in your direction. 1-1 pitch to Carruthers is a called strike. So he'll have to shorten up on 1 and 2 and hope that he can at least get Derek Stout home from third after his leadoff double on the first pitch he saw. The 1-2 pitch misses high, ball 2. Brian Fleming waiting on deck, hoping to get a chance to hit in this first inning. Aiden Willard has 7 steals on the year, a perfect 7 for 7. 2-2 pitch is swung on and chopped foul, so Carruthers will get another shot at it. Certainly no problem there. Oilers as a team have stolen 76 bases this year and have been caught stealing 19 times. On the other side, they've allowed 77 steals and have only caught opponents stealing 12 times. 2-2 pitch to Carruthers, fouled away. So the Oilers 80% successful on stolen bases this year. They probably like that number to be just a little bit higher. 2-2 pitch is high, ball 3. So the count going full to Carruthers. As far as base stealers that Jamestown has allowed, they've only allowed 43 steals and they've stolen 134. That's got to be one of the bigger disparities in the league. 3-2 pitch to Carruthers. That one swung on and hit high in the air, but not super deep into left center. And the catch made by Grant Moore. Derek Stout's going to try to come home, and the throw to the plate is going to be up the line. It's 1-0 Oilers. A sac fly for Brian Carruthers, his 10th run driven in. So that one not hit particularly deep, but the throw from Grant Moore up the line, and Derek Stout able to trot home, and his catcher will pick up RBI number 10 on the year. So the Oilers lead 1-0 in the bottom of the first. First pitch to Brian Fleming. He'll take that one low. Fleming getting the start out in right field for the Oilers tonight. From the state of Delaware, going into his junior year at DeSales. 1-0 pitch. They'll check on the runner at first. Willard back in safely. Boy, there has been no hesitation to try and get Willard picked off at first. Again, we said only 43 stolen bases allowed by Jamestown this year. So opposing teams have only been able to successfully steal bases 65% of the time against. So that's a pretty remarkable mark. The 1-0 pitch misses high, ball 2. Got some parasailing going on. Probably a little bit hard to see. Looks like it's blocked by the score tracker on screen. He'll maybe about to come into view over center field. 2-0 pitch. High and inside. Well, years ago, that was I don't remember if it was the intro or the halftime show to the Super Bowl, was they'd have a parasailer would come down and land right on the field. 3-0 pitch is in there for a strike. That's something that's on many people's bucket lists, and I don't think it's on mine. I don't know about that. 3-1 pitch catches the inside corner, strike two. Count goes full after Fleming was well ahead. So if you do see a little bit of an arc and a dot above center field on your TV screen, that's what it is. 3-2 pitch, high, ball four. Willard was, of course, off with the pitch, and the inning continues with a 2-out walk. So Cooper Tarley will get a chance to bat here in this first inning with 2 runners on in front of him, and Tarp Skunks are probably saying thank goodness for that. Cooper Tarley has stolen 17 bases this year, 17 out of the Oilers' 76. He has nearly a quarter of their team stolen bases all by himself. Runners at first and second. Aiden Willard at second. And Brian Fleming at first. Tarley in left field batting .276 this year. He's driven in 19. Going into his sophomore year at William and Mary. And Tarley swings and hits this one high and deep to left. That might be enough. Back at the wall. It's gone! Cooper Tarley with home run number 3 on the year. It's a 3-run blast, and the Oilers come flying out to a 4-0 first inning lead. A 3-run blast on the first pitch he sees. And Tarley gives the Oilers a 4-zip first inning lead. Third home run of the year. Only the 11th hit by the Oilers all summer. He leads the team with 3. And the only other Oiler batter who has multiple home runs on the year is the guy coming to the plate right now, the extra hitter, Jack Painter. Jack has a lot of power in his bat, but is really looking to get those numbers up to where he wants them to be. Takes the first pitch, high, ball 1. That one fired over the left field wall by Cooper Tarley. 1-0 pitch is a called strike to Painter. Jack the EH batting .214. He's got 2 home runs on the year. He's driven in 10. RBIs number 20, 21, and 22 for Cooper Tarley. Painter standing in 2-1 pitch. Whoa, swing and a miss. Woo! The bat goes flying out of his hand. Well, folks, you've heard of a foul ball. That was a foul bat. That one gone flying into the right field foul territory. That's one where, that's some of the Oilers in the dugout being smart, playing it like a true infielder. When the bat comes flying towards you, you're probably going to want to play that one on a hop and not go for the grab. That might not end well for you, but some could do it. I bet you Bo Jackson could do it. The 2-2 pitch is fouled back. Bo Jackson did once snap a baseball bat over the top of his head, so I'm willing to bet he could do that. He also ran up the center field wall to rob a home run once. And that's just what he did on the baseball diamond. That doesn't even count what he did on the football field. 2-2 pitch, swing and a miss. Painter strikes out. A loud first inning for the Oilers. A leadoff double from Derek Stout. Couple of other base runners and a 3-run bomb by Cooper Tarley to top it all off. After 1 at Bradner Stadium, Oilers lead Jamestown 4-0. Inning number 2 at Bradner Stadium, Chris Laieta will face the EH Dominic Costello, another lefty, and the first pitch is way up and inside. That one buzzes the tower on Costello. It'll be Costello followed by Paul Delanto and Nate Muncy in the top half of inning number 2. Chris Laieta overall really impressive in that first inning. The 1-0 pitch is lifted high in the air toward right center. Grant Fournier ranging back, and he'll make the catch for out number 1. Well, that's the first time in the game that a Jamestown batter has put the ball in play. All 3 outs in the first inning were strikeouts, and the only base runner they had was Eric Weeks. He reached on a 4-pitch walk, stole a base as well. Talk about a bit of a roller coaster in the first inning, but one that ended quite well for Laieta. That one chopped on the ground. Keegan McElligott with a nice play at short, throw on to first in time. And 3 pitches for Laieta, and he's got 2 outs already. So Nate Muncy comes to the plate quickly with nobody out, or nobody on and 2 out rather. Yeah, back in that first inning, the leadoff man, Grant Moore, struck out on 3 pitches, but after that, a 4-pitch walk to Eric Weeks, and Laieta was behind 3-0 on Nolan Smith. He ended up striking out both Smith and Anthony Trommer to finish out the side. First pitch here to Muncy is low and inside, ball 1. Another lefty. It's a very left-handed heavy lineup for the Tarp Skunks tonight. That to me is a bit of a surprise with a lefty starter in Laieta. 1-0 to Muncy. That one is inside, ball 2. So smart by Nate to take the first couple of pitches after the first 2 batters were set down on just 3 offerings from Laieta. 2-0 pitch to Nate Muncy. That one catches the zone for a strike. Nate Muncy batting .268. Jamestown a .287 average as a team. They've been really good offensively. 2-1 pitch is hit on the ground to short McElligott, falling to his left, and he's just going to have to put that in his pocket. A tough play. A nice stop by Keegan for sure, but falling to his left, not able to make the play. It's an infield hit for Muncy. First hit of the game for the Tarp Skunks, only their second base runner, and the inning continues to James Dixon. Well, you got to give Keegan McElligott credit on that play, though. A nice stop for sure to prevent that ball from going into the outfield, and a smart decision to not get rid of it. Those are the type of plays where you got to just, again, hang on to it and live to fight another day, and he did there. First pitch to James Dixon is a strike. That catches the high and inside corner. Dixon, a right-handed bat. He'll get the start at third base tonight for Jamestown, and he struggled offensively, batting just .186, but he does carry into the game an on-base percentage of .400, so getting on base 40% of the time. That one hit on the ground. Bates knocks it down at second, and McElligott's going to pick it up, fire to first, and the throw will pull Christo Hunsaker off the bank. So that a bobble from Bates, and McElligott trying to make the play. And I think that one's going to go down as another infield hit. That one just kind of a tough one to play. And Bates was able to stop it, but not able to make the throw onto first. I mean, I think that's one where if you're going to score it an error, I almost think you count that as an error and charge it to Bates off the bobble. So that's what it'll go in the books as. 0-1 pitch to Jackson Ross. Ooh, misses. Not by much, though. Not sure where that one missed, but somewhere it did. Jackson Ross, the shortstop for Jamestown, a left-handed bat, number 43. That one catches the zone, not to be confused with the Oilers' Jackson Ross. So runners at first and second behind Chris Laiata, but he's one pitch away from finishing off Ross. And the 1-2 swing and a miss. He struck him out. Once again, Chris Laiata survives a little bit of traffic on the base paths, but other than that, another really solid and efficient inning. We're going to the bottom of the second. Oilers lead 4-0. Bottom of the lineup coming to the plate in the home half of inning number 2. Oilers are hoping to replicate the success that they found in the first inning, putting 4 runs on the board. So Christo Hunsaker will lead things off, followed by Keegan McElligott and Grant Fournier. First 1-2. Christo is swung on and popped up on the infield. Who wants this one? That will be caught by Nolan Smith at first for out number 1. Well, that first inning for the Oilers, Derek Stout doubling on the first pitch he saw. Thomas Bates was walked. Aiden Willard reached on a fielder's choice. A sacrifice fly from Brian Carruthers brought Stout home to give Olean a 1-0 lead. Brian Fleming drew a walk. And then Cooper Tarley with a 3-run bomb over the left field wall to give the Oilers a 4-0 lead. Painter struck out to retire the side. Now it's Keegan McElligott coming to the plate. He'll take the first pitch outside, ball 1. McElligott, a midseason addition for the Oilers, has been really solid in their lineup. Native of Massapequa out on Long Island, going into his freshman year at Binghamton. He swings and hits that one up the middle, a base hit. Hot shot straight over the second base bag, and the Oilers have their third hit. It's a 1-out single for the native of Massapequa, Keegan McElligott. And now the 10-spot batter, Grant Fournier, will come to the plate. Fournier, native of Cherry Hill, New York, going into his sophomore year at Delaware. Grant batting .263, and he's played a lot for the Oilers this year. In fact, the only Oilers who have played more games than him are Cooper Tarley and Thomas Bates. That's it. He's played the third most out of any Olean Oiler, most of that in center field. So Grant batting .263. He's driven in 11 on the year. He'll swing at that one and pop it up on the infield. That should be playable for James Dixon over at third. He'll make the catch for the second out. So a couple of quick pop outs, and we recycle to the top of the order for Derek Stout. Well, Derek wasted absolutely zero time in the bottom of the first inning, reaching on a stand-up double to right center field on the very first pitch he saw from the left-hander Joseph Santos. Stout scored on the sac fly off the bat of Brian Carruthers. First pitch to Stout here is low for ball one. Pretty short leadoff first for McElligott. The 1-0 pitch misses well high, ball two. Derek, a native of Jackson, Ohio, going into his sophomore year at Mercyhurst, and again, one of the Oilers' 2 PGCBL All-Stars, along with Thomas Bates, who's on deck. 2-0 pitch is a strike. Throw to second is going to be in plenty of time, and McElligott is nailed trying to steal second to end the inning. Oilers get one on. Not able to get anybody home, though. After 2 at Bradner Stadium, Oilers lead 4-0. Top 3 at Bradner Stadium. C.J. Dugan is the leadoff man. He takes the first pitch for a ball. The Tarp Skunks will bring the 10-1-2 batters to the plate against the left-handed Chris Laeta. In the top of inning number 3, 1-0 pitch to Dugan is high, ball 2. C.J. in left field for Jamestown tonight, batting .250. He's been very good in the field. Driven in 8 as well. The 2-0 pitch is a called strike. So Dugan, a right-hander, and it's a little bit of a surprise that more lefties than righties in the Jamestown lineup against the lefty starter Laeta. 2-1 pitch misses outside, ball 3. Grant Moore and Eric Weeks will follow Dugan to the plate here in this top of the third. 3-1 pitch to Dugan, way high and away, ball 4, and a leadoff walk. So the first 2 innings of the game, overall, pretty good for Chris Laeta. The first inning, struck out 3. Only base runner was a walk to Eric Weeks. Second inning, retired the first 2 batters on just 3 pitches. Gave up an infield hit and an error committed by the second baseman Thomas Bates, but then struck out Jackson Ross to finish it off. So back to the top of the order for Grant Moore, and the first pitch to him misses ball one. Moore 0 for 1 back in the first inning. Struck out on 3 pitches, swinging and missing at 2 of those 3. 1-0 pitch. That one just misses inside and low ball 2. Looking at the Oilers defensively, it's Brian Carruthers behind the plate, Christo Hunsaker at first, Thomas Bates at second, Derek Stout at third, Keegan McGilligan is at short. 2-0 pitch from Laeta. That hit him. That just gets a piece of Grant Moore, so the first 2 have reached here in the top of the third. Not the start to the inning that Laeta wants, but of course it's, a little bit less worrisome when you've got a 4-0 cushion and have pitched your way out of traffic so far in the game. Oilers outfield defensively, Cooper Tarley in left, Grant Fournier in center, Ryan Fleming in right. Eric Weeks, the second baseman, coming to the plate. He drew a 4-pitch walk back in the first inning and stole a base, was ultimately left on. First pitch here is low. So Laeta very much struggling to find the zone. And now they're going to have a meeting on the mound to chat with Chris Laeta and just calm him down. Looks like the walk to strikeout ratio, again, Laeta primarily a reliever, as is Joseph Santos for Jamestown. Coming into play tonight, 3 walks, 13 strikeouts for Laeta. So that working very well in his favor. Tonight he has issued 2 free passes and has struck out 4. But has put 2 runners on with nobody out behind him here. A walk and a hit by pitch, not an ideal way to start, but not about how you start. We'll see if he can rally back here against Eric Weeks behind 1-0. The pitch, that one swung on and popped up. If the Oilers can get to it, that'll certainly help. It's in foul territory, and Bates will put it away for the out. Both Bates and Hunsaker were over there. Bates makes the catch. That's a big-time first out in this third inning. It'll bring Nolan Smith to the plate. Well, in the first inning, Smith was ahead 3-0 on Chris Laeta. Ended up striking out looking. First pitch to Smith from Laeta misses high, ball 1. Runners with fairly short leads off the first and second base bags. The 1-0 pitch is inside, and that hit him. Nolan Smith is plunked, and the bases are loaded here in the top of the third. So the bases are loaded after a walk and 2 hit by pitches. Laeta had hit 5 batters on the season coming into tonight, and he's hit 2 of the last 3. No place to put the DH, Anthony Trommer. 0 for 1 with a strikeout back in the first. First pitch to him here is a called strike. Oilers infield will play in. Anything hit on the ground is likely bad news for Jamestown. 1-1 is outside ball 1. Again, the Oilers infield playing very well in. Anything Getting a hit on the ground, you have to imagine that throw's going home. 1-1 pitch swung on and hit high in the air toward deep center. This could be trouble. That is backing off the base of the wall. 1 run will score. Here comes more. He'll score as well. Trommer safely into second. Nolan Smith will hold up at third. It's a 2-run double for Trommer, and Jamestown cuts the lead in half with 1 swing. Second hit of the night. And Anthony Trommer drives in 2 with a double, and it has been rough. Dugan scores, as does Grant Moore. Nolan Smith heading for third. That looked like it could have been a lot worse than it was for Olean, but now faced with Dom Costello. First pitch to him is a strike. Costello 1 swing away from either tying the game or giving the Oilers the lead, or giving the Tarp Skunks the lead over the Oilers here in this 3rd inning. Laeta going to need a pitch with care, of course. The 0-1 pitch is well inside, and Carruthers had to really go over to get that. That wasn't too far from hitting Dom Costello either, so Laeta's really got to get the strike zone figured out here in this 3rd inning. And first and second really good, but struggling here in the 3rd. 1-1 pitch, swung on, hit on the ground. Only one play. That will be a throw to first. Run will score. Costello picks up an RBI. It's a ground out number 2, and it's a 1-run ball game. So Dom Costello with a sacrifice ground out. But that is out number 2. Smith comes home to score. And Trommer over to third for the catcher, Paul Delanto. Delanto for 1. Grounded out back in the 2nd. First one to him from Chris Laeta is taken low. Laeta settles in. The 1-0 pitch is low, ball 2. Very short lead off of third, understandably, for Anthony Trommer. 2-0 pitch from Laeta. Swung on and hit in the air to right, but Brian Fleming is right there. He'll make the catch for out number 3. So 1 runner left on, but a 2-run double and a sacrifice. Jamestown brings in 3 in the 3rd inning. A tough 3rd inning for Chris Laeta, but the Oilers still have the lead. We're going to the bottom of the 3rd. Olean up 4-3. Bottom of the third, Derek Stout getting another shot for the Oilers. He was at the plate in the second inning when Keegan McElligott was caught trying to steal second base. It'll be Stout followed by Bates and then Aiden Willard against a new arm on the mound. The right-hander Ryan Tatar takes to the mound for the Jamestown Tarp Skunks, number 41. So a right-hander as the lefty Santos is pulled. Looks like it'll be a bullpen game for Jamestown. 1-0 pitch is a called strike. Oilers saw their 4-run lead shrink down to just one in the top of this inning. The 1-1 pitch hits Derek Stout. So Derek is on base for the second time. And we've really been seeing some batters getting plunked in this game tonight, with a couple batters getting hit in the top of this inning, and now Stout here. So Thomas Bates will come to the plate. Bates walked back in the first, was out on the fielder's choice off the bat of Aiden Willard. So the Oilers try to counter punch after getting hit in the mouth by Jamestown last inning. That one sails way over the head of Bates and back to the backstop, and Derek Stout's in a scoring position. Boy, that one sailed way over the head of Thomas Bates. That pitch was headed to Hinsdale with how far north that was of Thomas Bates's head, let alone the strike zone. But either way, it's 1-0 to Bates, and the Oilers have one in scoring position. Derek Stout has a decent-sized lead off the bag. That one swung on and hit to right. That one down the line. Will it stay fair? It does. Is that a fair ball? No. Boy, just foul. That's about as close as you can hit it to the foul line and have it be. Wow. Very, very, very close. And that's going the opposite way, too. That's a right-handed bat hitting that to right field. But either way, it's 1-1, and maybe rang Tatar's bell just a little bit. So Stout will retake his lead. Not a particularly big base stealer. The 1-1 pitch is a called strike. That's a good one from Tatar. Bates behind 1 and 2. Derek Stout has stolen 6 bases on the year. He's 6 for 8. One-two pitch to Bates. That one swung on and hit sharply to second. That will be playable for Eric Weeks. He'll throw on to first for the out. Productive out for Bates, though, as it does get Derek Stout over to third. So a good at bat there. That'll get Stout over to third, and Aiden Willard with an RBI opportunity. Willard reached on a fielder's choice in the first and scored on the 3-run shot off the bat of Cooper Charlie. So now a lefty-righty matchup. Willard, of course, saw the lefty Joseph Santos his first time up. First one to him from Tatar. Big swing and a miss. At the very least, Willard's got to put the ball in play to get the run home. 0-1 pitch. That one swung on and hit high in the air, out of play off the left field side. put the ball in the outfield or hit it on the ground, Aiden, and the Oilers will at least get one back after surrendering 3 in the top half of this inning. And again, that wild pitch that allowed Stout to head in a scoring position proving to be really important as Willard hits this one high in the air toward deep right. That is way back. It'll be caught in center by Grant Moore, but Stout will trot home easily, so Aiden Willard does his job, gets a sacrifice fly, and the Oilers get one back. It's 5-3. So some productive baseball, the ABC baseball, as Willard gets the run home. And Aiden certainly gave that one a ride in a deep left center field. Grant Moore able to track that down. Aiden Willard picking up his 17th run driven in on the season. So now it's Brian Carruthers' turn, and he takes the first pitch high and inside, ball 1. Carruthers drove in a run back in the first inning. That was a sacrifice fly to center that drove in Derek Stout. 1-0 pitch, big swing. Carruthers comes up empty. Brian does have one home run as an Oiler and, of course, drove in his 10th of the year back in the first inning. 1-1 pitch. That one swung on and missed, strike 2. So base is empty, 2 out. Tatar trying to finish off Brian Carruthers. The 1-2 pitch. That's high, ball 2. Carruthers trying to extend the inning to the other Brian Fleming. He hits this one high and deep to left center field. That is at the wall, but it'll fall just short of the wall. And Grant Moore will make the catch to end the inning. Oh, Carruthers gave that one a ride, but not able to put it over the wall. Oilers do get a run home, though, thanks to a sac fly from Aiden Willard that drives in Derek Stout to score his second run of the game. After 3 at Bradner Stadium, Oilers lead Jamestown 5-3. Fourth inning at Bradner Stadium, Olean leading the Jamestown Tarp Skunks 5-3. I'm Matt Volz with you. Oilers bringing a new arm to the mound, another left-hander. It's Mark Holm to take over for Chris Lietta here in the top of the fourth. First pitch from Holm swung on and missed by the right fielder, Nate Muncy. 7, 8, and 9 batters coming to the plate. Muncy will be followed by James Dixon and Jackson Ross. So taking a look at the left-hander Holm. After the 0-1 pitch, that one is a strike check swing. He did go, strike two. Mark Holm, a native of Bracebridge, Ontario, going into his senior year just down the road with the Bonnies. Against the left-hander Nate Muncy. 0-2 pitch from Holm, low, ball one. Now looking at Mark's numbers on the season, he has been the primary lefty out of the pen for sure. This is his 9th relief appearance, a 1.32 ERA, as the 1-2 pitch is swung on and missed, and Holmes strikes out his first batter. So he strikes out Nate Muncy, and now James Dixon coming to the plate. Mark Holm again making his 9th pitching appearance. He's 1-0. 11 walks, 22 strikeouts. Opponents batting just 125 off of him. Now facing the right-handed hitting third baseman James Dixon. First pitch to Dixon is a called strike. Dixon reached on an error by Oilers second baseman Thomas Bates back in the second inning. He was left on base. A 1 pitch from Holmes. Swing and a miss on a pitch that was low. Woo! That one totally fooled Dixon coming out of the hand. He was certainly looking for something else and ends up swinging at one that was way downstairs. So Holm getting himself ahead, 0-2. And the 0-2 pitch, that one swung on and hit to shallow left center. This is going to be a tough play. That will be caught, a sliding grab by Cooper Tarley for out number 2. Cooper Tarley makes a great catch in left field for the second out. Boy, that one looked like it was going to drop almost right between Tarley and left, Fournier in center, and the shortstop McElligott going out to get it. But a beautiful sliding grab by Cooper Tarley in left field is the second out. And now this one to Jackson Ross, hit foul the other way. Ross 0 for 1, struck out back in the second inning. Another lefty-lefty matchup. We've seen a lot of those, especially in the top half of innings, as Jamestown sent out a really left-handed heavy lineup against the lefty starter Lietta. So nobody on, 2 down, and the 0-1 pitch to Ross. Swing and a miss. That one tied him up. So Mark Holm having really no trouble getting out in front of these Jamestown batters. Ahead 0-2 on Ross. And the pitch from Holm, that one low. Try to get him to chase at that. Jamestown with 2 hits on the night. Oilers with 3. Holm gives a look, shakes off the first one from Carruthers, now has the one he wants. And the 2-2 pitch, swing and a miss, he struck him out. Mark Holm picks up 2 strikeouts and sends Jamestown down in order in the 4th. We're going to the bottom of the 4th. Oilers coming to bat, they lead at 5-3. Bottom of the fourth inning, Oilers have a 5-3 lead, and they're coming to bat. It'll be Fleming, followed by Cooper Tarley and Jack Painter. Another inning of work for the right-hander Ryan Tatar. The first one to Brian Fleming, cut on and missed. Again, Oilers have won 7 of their last 8 to put themselves in playoff contention. And as we look at the out-of-town scoreboard, Oilers hoping to get some help as Fleming fouls that one off. Top of the fifth inning in Niagara Falls. The Niagara Falls Americans have a 1-0 lead over the Niagara Ironbacks. 0-2 pitch is chopped foul. That game, of course, a battle of the Oilers' final 2 opponents of the regular season, as they will head to Ontario to face the Ironbacks tomorrow, and they'll return home to close out the regular season against the Niagara Falls Americans on Sunday. Other games going on, the Elmira Pioneers have an 8-0 lead over the Geneva Red Wings in the bottom of the second at Dunn Field. Top of the fourth in Newark, Batavia Muckdogs ahead 9-0 on Newark, so that's not what Jamestown wants to hear, as Fleming hits this one on the ground and over the head of Nolan Smith, a base hit. That one took a hop right over the head of Nolan Smith, and a leadoff base hit for Fleming. So Cooper Tarley coming to the plate, of course, last time up, a 3-run blast over the left field wall, one that C.J. Dugan, all he could do was just look up and watch it go. Now up to 22 RBIs on the year is Tarley. Pretty short lead off of first for Brian Fleming. Fleming's only stolen 4 bags on the year. First pitch to him is low. Tarley will be followed by Jack Painter, who is 0 for 1, struck out back in the first. Tatar gives a nod, and the 1-0 pitch is swung on and fouled. Cooper Tarley fouled that one off his left foot. So that one stung him a little bit. He's going to walk that off. Looks to be all right, though. Again, Brian Fleming, not a particularly noted base stealer, but he does have 4 steals on the year. He's 4 for 4. 1-1 pitch inside. Cooper Tarley batting .276 on the year. Cooper, going into his sophomore year at William and Mary. The 2-1 pitch to him here is taken for ball 3. Boy, Tarley might have gotten the benefit of one there. If that missed, it was not by much, but either way, Cooper Tarley's got himself ahead 3-1. Trying to get himself on base and give Jack Painter an opportunity to drive some runs home. The 3-1 pitch, that's inside, nearly hits him. And Tarley will be on base first and second and nobody out. So we've seen a lot of pitches either hit batters or come pretty close. Certainly didn't look like any intent on that pitch, though. So 2 on, and now Jack Painter will come to bat. So with 1 in scoring position and the speedy Cooper Tarley at first, base hit to be well appreciated. That one inside, well inside on Painter. Well, you got to think an extra base hit definitely scores 2. 1-0 pitch from Tatar. Painter swings and misses. Jack Painter overall is in a favorable spot at the moment with 2 on and nobody out. Jack 0 for 1, struck out back in the first. That strikeout was to end the first inning as well. 1-1 pitch, swung on and chopped, foul. Jack definitely wanting to get his offensive numbers back up a little bit. He's got a good on-base percentage, getting on base around 41% of the time. So he's doing that well. Batting just .214, though. That's a lot lower than he'd like to see. He's got some power, does have a couple of home runs. 1-2 pitches hit on the ground to second. That's bobbled at second, and the throw to first is going to be low, but just in time. So Painter is out. A bobble by Eric Weeks. And that allows both runners to advance to scoring position, so that'll go down as a ground out. Just able to make the play. But the Oilers have 2 in scoring position with 1 out, and now Christo Hunsaker with an RBI chance. Boy, that throw from Eric Weeks was really low. A great job by Nolan Smith to make the play on that. That undoubtedly would have been an E4 if Smith wasn't able to hold on to it. Hunsaker swings and hits this one out to deep left field. Did they get another one? Yes, they did! Christo Hunsaker with Olean's second 3-run bomb of the night. It's an 8-3 ball game. That one, no doubt, off the bat of Christo Hunsaker. That was gone the second the ball met the bat, and the Oilers have a 5-run lead, their biggest of the game. An absolute bullet from Christo Hunsaker over the left field wall. A nuke gives the Oilers a 5-run lead. That got everybody up and out of their seats at Bradner Stadium. Olean's second 3-run home run of the game. And again, this is a team that all summer coming into tonight had only hit 10 home runs. They're not a particularly power-hitting team. Oilers are much more a contact-hitting team. First one to Keegan McElligott, swung on and missed. Christo Hunsaker hitting his second home run of the year. RBIs numbers 8, 9, and 10. 0-1 to McElligott, floats in for a strike. And a nod from Tatar. That one just missed, ball 1. Keegan McElligott singled back in the second inning and was caught stealing to end the inning. 1-2 pitch. Inside. Grant Fournier waiting on deck. He'll get a chance to hit for sure. That one on 2-2, skipped in the dirt, ball 3. Keegan a lot deeper into this count than he did on the at-bat in the second inning. That one swinging at a 1-0. Now he's got the count full. Tatar into the windup. 3-2 pitch to McElligott. Fouled away. He'll get another shot. Keegan batting .241. And Grant Fournier waiting on deck. Fournier is going to get a chance to hit regardless of what happens with McElligott. The 3-2 pitch. Swing and a miss held onto by Paul Delanto. It's a strikeout, out number 2. First strikeout for Ryan Tatar since entering the game in the 3rd inning, and Grant Fournier will come to the plate. Fournier popped out back in the 2nd inning, looking to flip the lineup card over and keep this line moving here in the bottom of the 4th. Against the right-hander Ryan Tatar, Oilers enjoying an 8-3 lead. First pitch to Grant Fournier is a called strike. Nice frame by Delanto behind the plate. A 1 pitch is low, taken low right down by the dirt. Fournier's got some good speed as well. Not, a bit surprising that he's only stolen 4 bags on the year. 4 for 5 in steal attempts. 1-1 pitch is low. Native of Cherry Hill, New York. A Delaware Blue Hen in college. Same college as Joe Flacco. 2-1 pitch, inside and low. Of course, the former Ravens quarterback played for, of course, he's still in the league. He's somewhere, I want to say, I don't remember if he's with the Jets or something like that, but had a renaissance with the Browns a couple of years ago as Fournier swings and misses. Fournier standing back in, and the 3-2 pitch from Tatar. Inside, ball 4. Fournier draws a walk. He's on base for the first time, and the inning continues. So Derek Stout has gotten a chance to hit in every inning in this game. He doubled and scored in the first. He was at the plate with 2 outs in the second when Keegan McElligott was caught stealing. Was hit by a pitch in the 3rd, and now will come to bat in the 4th. And now a meeting on the mound, and that's going to be it for Ryan Tatar. So Jamestown going to their bullpen for the 2nd time. They're going to bring in their 3rd pitcher of the game. Again, this does look to be a bullpen game. So we'll see who is coming into the game for the Tarp Skunks in relief of Ryan Tatar. And it looks like it is going to be Jack Santee coming into the ball game to pitch in relief of Tatar with 1 on and 2 out. So as Jack Santee completes his warm-up tosses, we'll step aside. Oilers up 8-3. Back here in the bottom of the fourth, Jack Santee throws a first pitch strike to Derek Stout. Runner at first, that is Grant Fournier. We'll see if he thinks about taking off. Santee, a left-hander. 0-1 to Stout, fouled away. Derek looked like he was out just a little bit ahead of that. Again, Fournier, not the steal numbers you would expect. He's got very good speed. 4 for 5 on steals this year. 0-2 pitch. That's inside. Did that go off the bat? Looks like it did. So a foul ball right in on the hands. So 0-2 on Derek Stout. Fournier takes off. Pitch is a ball. Throw to second is not in time. Whoa. A cannon of a throw from Paul Delanto. That throw maybe just a little bit low. And Grant Fournier somehow able to slide in just behind the tag. So Fournier picks up his 5th stolen base of the season. And a 1-2 pitch incoming to Derek Stout. The pitch, that one swung on and hit to left center field. That one going back, that is down off the base of the wall. Fournier will score. Stout will hold up at second. Derek Stout with his 2nd double of the game, and it's 9-3 Oilers. And that's why you steal bases at ABC Baseball. Again, the Oilers have done a really great job of it, not only tonight, but all season long. It's an RBI double for Derek Stout, his 30th RBI of the season. And the Oilers have a 9-3 lead. Boy, you think about how big that steal from Grant Fournier was. I mean, the throw from Paul Delanto was a pretty good one, a really good one. Fournier just somehow able to sneak in behind the tag, and the Oilers now lead by 6. It's a 9-3 ball game as the Tarp Skunks catcher Delanto goes out to talk to Jack Santee. And Jack Santee overall does not give up a whole lot of offense. He's been very good. This is his 8th relief appearance. A 2.61 ERA, 2-0 record. Opponents batting 235 off of him. First pitch to Bates is cut on and missed. Thomas Bates walked in the first inning, grounded out in the 3rd. Trying to drive in Derek Stout and put the Oilers in double digits. 0-1 is low, ball 2. Oilers have hit 2 separate 3-run home runs over the left field wall tonight. One by Cooper Tarley in the first inning, one by Christo Hunsaker earlier in this 4th inning. The 1-1 to Bates. Strike 2 at the bottom of the zone. Got to give a lot of credit to the catcher, Paul Delanto. He's done a really nice job defensively for the Tarp Skunks. Been rock solid behind the plate. And now Santee will step off. As a team, Jamestown's pitching staff, a 5.78 ERA. And we've seen a couple of their best tonight. As that one hit on the ground, that'll get through for a base hit. Rounding third is Stout. He will come home to score. It's an RBI single for Thomas Bates. Oilers are in double digits. They've got a 10-3 lead. 7th hit of the game. Bates drives in a run. 5 have scored in the inning, another one with 2 outs. And Derek Stout scores his 3rd run of the game. Thomas Bates driving in his 21st of the season. And now Aiden Willard with a chance to do even more damage. He takes the first pitch here inside and low. Willard reached on a fielder's choice in the first and scored on the Cooper Tarley home run. Then drove in a run with a sac fly that scored Derek Stout. 1-0 pitch is a strike. Oilers lead 10-3. They're out heading Jamestown 7-2. 1-1 pitch is a called strike on the inside corner. And Bates, they checked. Boy, Jack Santee with a late throw over to first to check on Thomas Bates. That certainly looked like it could have been a block charge to Santee, but ultimately none is called. Looked like he had already started the windup before throwing over to first. 1-2 pitch to Willard. Swung on and hit into shallow center. That will drop for a base hit. Bates will stop at second. The line keeps moving. Willard picks up the hit. 8th of the game for the Oilers. And more 2-out offense for Olean. Now Brian Carruthers at the plate. Brian has had a couple of long, loud outs in the game. A sac fly in the first that scored Derek Stout. And in the third, a fly ball hit to center that Grant Moore caught pretty much right up against the center field wall. Runners at first and second. Bates at second, Willard at first. 2 good runners. First one to Carruthers is hit on the ground. That's down the line. That's a fair ball. That is a fair ball. Bates rounding third. He will come home to score. Willard into third. He'll stop there. It's a double for Brian Carruthers. An RBI double. The Oilers keep the offense rolling with 2 outs. It's 11-3. You think these guys are having fun tonight? 11-3 Oilers. Boy. 3 runs have scored. So the Oilers have scored 6 in this inning. They had the 3-run home run off the bat of Hunsaker with 1 out. Every run scored since has been scored with 2 down. So an RBI double for Brian Carruthers. The Oilers have batted around as Brian Fleming is back up. First pitch is a strike. Bates scores. Aiden Willard at third. Brian Carruthers at second. Fleming takes a strike on the inside corner. Brian Fleming walked and scored in the first, singled and scored in the fourth. He'd like to keep that trend going, but he's behind 0-2. 0-2 pitch from Santee. Swing and a miss. Fleming strikes out. Oilers leave 2 in scoring position, but 6 come home to score. The 3-run home run by Christo Hunsaker over the left field wall, and the Oilers bring 3 more home with 2 outs. We're going to the 5th inning at Bradner Stadium. Oilers lead Jamestown 11-3. Back in the top of the fifth, Bradner Stadium, Oilers, after scoring 6 in the fourth inning, have an 11-3 lead. First pitch to C.J. Dugan is fouled away. It'll be Dugan followed by the top two hitters in the lineup, Grant Moore and Eric Weeks. Mark Holm out there for another inning of work. And he sent Jamestown down in order in the fourth, picked up a couple of strikeouts in the process. A 1 pitch to Dugan is high, ball 1. Dugan walked and scored in the third. That was a third inning that saw the Tarp Skunks bring home 3 as Dugan swings and misses there. And it kind of looked like things were getting a little bit hairy for the Oilers after putting up 4 runs in the first, including the Cooper Tarley 3-run homer. Jamestown scored 3 in the top of the third to cut it to a 1-run ball game, but it's really been all Oilers since then. The 1-2 pitch inside, ball 2. This is definitely an anomaly for Jamestown. They have been really good away from home this year. Out of the 19 games played away from Jamestown, they've won 15 of them. As the 2-2 pitch is called, strike 3, Dugan is sent down. Third strikeout for Mark Holm. He set down each of the first 4 batters he's seen. And we go back to the top of the lineup with Grant Moore. Moore struck out in the first and was hit by a pitch in the third. First pitch to him here. He tries to drop down a bunt. It's right to Mark Holm, and he'll fire onto first. It's a high throw, but Hunsaker still makes the play for out number 2. So Grant Moore trying to get on with his speed. And that's out number 2. So Eric Weeks aboard up with nobody on and 2 out. Weeks walked in the first and stole a base. Popped out back in the third. First pitch here is swung on and popped up in foul territory down the right field line. That'll go out of play. Yeah, Jamestown rather pedestrian at home this year. 9-7-1 in their home ballpark. 15-3-1 away from home. They have been outstanding away from home. The true road warriors of the PGCBL this year. But again, slightly pedestrian at home. 0-1 pitch is foul back. So Weeks behind 0-2. And again, Jamestown fighting for the top spot in the West Division, although they're not liking the scoreboard right now with trailing in this game and Batavia out to a huge lead in Newark. 0-2 pitch skips in the dirt. That game is in the top of the 6th and really looks to be headed towards the 10-run rule. Batavia has a 13-0 lead over the Pilots in the 6th inning. So again, that is not the news that the Jamestown Tarp Skunks wanted to hear tonight at all. Holm misses with a 1-2 pitch. Again, Batavia entered the night leading Jamestown by a game and a half in the West. And if both of these scores hold, that's going to be it. Batavia will wrap up the West as the 2-2 pitch is swung on and missed. Holm gets the strikeout. And we are halfway through 9 innings. Mark Holm, another 1-2-3 inning. 6 up, 6 down for Holm out of the pen. We're going to the bottom of the 5th. Oilers up 11-3. Bottom of the fifth, Oilers have a big lead over the Jamestown Tarp Skunks, and they're looking to add on to that. They lead 11-3 here at Bradner Stadium. After a 6-run bottom of the fourth, we'll see if the Oilers can continue that. Keep the good times rolling. Cooper Tarley will lead off, followed by Jack Painter. Tarley swings the first pitch and sends it high in the air toward right, but that is easily playable for the right fielder Nate Bunsey. One pitch, one out in the bottom of the fifth. So Jack Painter will come to the plate. Painter 0 for 2, struck out in the first, grounded out in the fourth. Painter will be followed by Christo Hunsaker, the left-hander Jack Santee out there for another inning of work for the Jamestown Tarp Skunks. Oilers trying to, again, add to their lead and maybe, just maybe, put themselves in 10-run territory, but that one swung on and missed. Got some work to do. Of course, some games still to be played. That rule, you need to be up by 10 with 7 complete. 0-1 misses high, ball 1. Oilers lineup has certainly had some fun tonight and have shown more power than we're really used to seeing from this club in the game, with a couple of 3-run blasts. 1-1 pitch to Painter is a called strike. And speaking of home runs, this is a guy who can hit them as well. He's got 2 homers on the year. Hit a couple last year for Olean as well. The 1-2 pitch inside. Tough take, and it works out for him. And the 2-2 pitch. That one swung on and fouled back. So Jack stepping back into the batter's box. A lefty-lefty matchup between him and Jack Santee. And the pitch to Painter. That one swung on and popped up in foul territory down the right field line, but that'll go out of play and clang off the bleachers just below the press box. So Santee gets set another one. The 2-2 pitch is swung on and hit foul again down the right field line. So Jack Painter doing a nice job to keep himself alive in the at-bat and waste Jack Santee's arm a little bit. No action in the Jamestown pen. 2 balls, 2 strikes to pitch. That one pulled down the first base line. Nolan Smith has it, and he'll make the play at first for out number 2. So a solid at bat by Painter ultimately ends up grounding out for the second time. So quickly 2 set down. And the Oiler first baseman, Christo Hunsaker, will come to the plate for the 3rd time tonight. He popped out back in the 2nd inning. And last inning, a 3-run, no doubt, bomb over the left field wall. That was even more of a no-doubter than Cooper Tarley's home run in the 1st inning. This one catches the corner for a strike. Yeah, the one off Hunsaker's bat was pretty much the second that he hit that. You knew it was not staying in the yard. 0-1 pitch is low, ball 1. That was the 2nd home run by Christo Hunsaker this year. Tied with Jack Painter for 2nd on the team. Cooper Tarley's got 3. Again, we talked about Oilers are not a home run hitting team. The 1-1 pitch in there for strike 2 on Christo. And the 1-2 pitch, fouled back. So Christo will get a chance to do it again. He's been really solid for the Oilers this year. They have been really glad to have him defensively over at first base. Between him and Denny Martin, Oilers have really had that spot anchored down defensively. The 1-2 pitch off the plate, ball 2. We know Christo Hunsaker has some power. We'll see if he can connect with this one. 2-2 pitch is swung on and hit in the air toward shallow left. A few fielders converge. We'll see who wants this one. And the center fielder, Grant Moore, will put it away. Oilers are sent down in order. We are through 5 at Bradner Stadium. Olean leading Jamestown 11-3. Sixth inning, and Olean Oilers have an 11-3 lead over the Jamestown Tarp Skunks. The 3, 4, and 5 batters coming to bat against the lefty Mark Holm. First pitch to Nolan Smith is low for a ball. Holm will see Smith, followed by Anthony Trommer, the DH, and Dom Costello, the EH. Nolan Smith struck out in the first, was hit by a pitch in the third. 1-0 offering from Holmes, swing and a miss. So 2 innings of work so far for Mark Holm. And he's sent down all 6 that he's faced so far and has picked up 4 strikeouts as well. The 1-1 pitch swung on and sent foul. So Holm ahead 1-2. Again, he has done a great job getting ahead of opposing hitters in the 1-2 pitch inside. That hit him. Oh, Nolan Smith hit by a pitch for the second time in the game. And that ends the streak of the first 6 set down in a row by Mark Holm. Leadoff man's on for Jamestown in the 6th. And Nolan Smith might need an ice bath tomorrow. The DH, Anthony Trommer, will bat. He struck out in the first. Drove home 2 with a double in the third. First pitch to Trommer is a strike. Trommer, the righty bat for Jamestown, batting .319, has driven in 10 on the year. Coming into play tonight, he's now up to 12. That one skips in the dirt And Carruthers couldn't find it. It was right in front of him, wasn't able to find it. Ultimately able to get to it. Nolan Smith not able to go anywhere. Mark Holm very effective in the third and fourth innings. After a leadoff hit by pitch, trying to reclaim some of that magic here in the sixth. Oh, the 1-2 pitch swung on and missed. Traumer was way out in front of that. He had already swung almost all the way through when that ball finally got to home plate. Nice pitch by Mark Holm, and it's 1-2. 1-2 pitch, swing and a miss. He struck him out. Anthony Traumer just could not get the timing right on those swings. He struck out for the second time, and Mark Holm has strikeout number 5. So the EH Dom Costello comes to the plate. He's got an RBI on the night, drove in a run with a ground out back in the third. That RBI was his 16th of the year. First pitch to him from Mark Holm is a called strike. Another lefty-lefty matchup. We have seen a lot of lefty-lefty tonight. Short lead off of first for Nolan Smith. They'll check on him. He's back in safely, although somewhat of a close play. Nolan Smith 0 for 1 on stolen base attempts this year, so really not a threat to steal. And I think you're probably better off just not worrying about any sort of pickoff throw. The 0-1 pitch is swung on and missed. And now we get a loose baseball that came out of the Jamestown dugout. Gotta say, solid throw from the dugout, sending it back to the bullpen. Not bad. 0-2 the count on Dom Costello, and the pitch from Mark Holm. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Again, Holm is just really flummoxing the Jamestown batters as far as their timing on their swing is concerned. 6th strikeout for Mark Holm. Back-to-back now, Paul Delanto comes to the plate. And don't ask me how to spell flummoxing. I have no idea. Nolan Smith short lead off of first. Delanto swing and a miss. Again, you can just see that the timing in the Jamestown swings is really affected by the way Holm is pitching. There's been a lot of drastically early and drastically late swings. 0-1 pitch, that's low. And pitch placement has been really solid for Holm, too. He's really fooled a lot of the Tarp Skunk batters. Seen a couple batters strike out on pitches that were well over an inch outside of the zone. 1-1 pitch. That one hit on the ground. Holmes got it. Uses the tall frame to leap up and pluck that out of the air and throw on to first for out number 3. Well, a leadoff hit by pitch doesn't come back to hurt Mark Holm. He sets down the next 3 in a row and picks up 2 more strikeouts. We're going to the bottom of the 6th. Oilers lead Jamestown 11-3. Keegan McElligott will lead off for the Oilers in the bottom of the sixth. The new arm on the mound for Jamestown, that is the right-hander Chase Barron. Chase Barron making his 14th appearance of the season, every single one out of the bullpen. An ERA just north of 6. He does have a 1-0 record, though. First pitch to Keegan McElligott is a called strike. Oilers will bring McElligott, Grant Fournier, and Derek Stout to the plate in this bottom of the sixth. Against Chase Barron, 0-1 pitch. McElligott swings and sends this foul off the bleachers and maybe probably over the bleachers in foul territory over the left field side over towards Country Fair. McElligott is 1 for 2 in the game. Singled in the second, but was caught stealing and struck out in the fourth. And the 0-2 pitch to him from Barron, swung on and sent foul. He'll get another shot at it. And Chase Barron's ERA not ideal, just north of 6 in 16 and a third innings of work, but he does have 3 saves, and opponents are batting just 186 off of him. 0-2 pitch to McElligott, swung on and chopped foul. He chopped that foul first, so he'll get another shot. McElligott will be followed by Grant Fournier and Derek Stout in this bottom half of the sixth. And if the Oilers can put 2 or more runs on the board in this inning, all they need is just 3 outs in the top of the seventh, and this game would be over with. And the 0-2 pitch, now time is called. Smart timeout from Keegan McElligott to get Barron started with the windup and then end up calling time. 0-2 pitch, low, ball 1. Keegan came in guns a-blazing offensively for the Oilers, but did cool off a little bit. Still been very good in the Oiler lineup. The 1-2 pitch hit on the ground. Just second, that's going to hop through Eric Weeks, and he'll reach base. So Eric Weeks not able to corral that. That'll be the first error committed by Jamestown, and the Oilers have the leadoff man on the sixth. So both teams have an E4. So an error that could prove to be costly. Now we'll see if McElligott thinks about running here. Keegan 3 for 4 on stolen base attempts on the year. First pitch to Fournier is a ball. The 1-0 pitch is in there for a called strike. Fournier reached base in the fourth inning. Popped out back in the second, but reached base in the fourth inning, drawing a walk. And the throw, the pickoff attempt to first gets away. McElligott's going to head to second easily. Took a look to third, but ultimately decided to stay there. And that's why you have to be careful with those pickoff attempts. That's going to be another. An errant throw allows Keegan McElligott to get into scoring position. That's why you have to be very wary of those pickoff attempts. You have to weigh the risk versus the reward there. 1-1 pitch. Swung on and hit down the left field line. That's going to be fair. That's going to be a fair ball and roll into foul territory. McElligott is going to score easily. Fournier will be into second with a stand-up RBI double, and the Oilers have a 12-3 lead. 10th hit of the game. And still nobody out in the bottom of the sixth. An RBI double for Grant Fournier. Oilers getting production from the bottom of their lineup. So Keegan McElligott comes home to score. Grant Fournier drives in his 12th of the season. And now Derek Stout coming to the plate. Derek Stout has reached base 3 times and has scored all 3 times. First pitch to him from Chase Barron is fouled back. Again, the Oilers have a 9-run lead. If Grant Fournier can come home to score, then the Oilers could finish off this game by putting up a 0 in the top of the 7th. But they've got to get Fournier home first. Nobody out. 0-1 pitch to Derek Stout. That one misses way outside, ball 1. And a great job by Paul Delanto to make sure that didn't go back to the backstop. Fournier would have been at third in a heartbeat if that ball got away. 1 ball, 1 strike. Barron settling in, trying to send a good one at Derek Stout. 1-1 pitch swung on and chopped on the ground. That's a high chopper that gets over the head of the third baseman Dixon. Fournier will come home to score, and the late throw, Stout's going to head for second. He's going to be out by a mile. Derek Stout singled, trying to go for second on a little bit of a bobble. He's going to be thrown out, but still an RBI single, his second RBI of the night, number 31 on the year, and the Oilers have that 10-run lead. So an RBI single for Stout, but he is thrown out trying to stretch that into a double. I think he thought he saw a little bit more of a bobble than was actually the case. But either way, first 2 batters of the inning both score. Thomas Bates up, Oilers lead by 10. First pitch to Bates, swing and a miss. So again, the Oilers now in position where all they got to do is just put up a 0. And this game will be over. 0-1 pitch, Bates, swing and a miss. Well, speaking of the 10-run rule, bottom of the 7th, the Newark Pilots are in a position where they have to put up 8 runs in 1 inning just to keep the game going. They're down 17-0 in the bottom of the 7th. The 0-2 pitch, swing and a miss. Bates strikes out. So Bates is set down, and now the DH, Aiden Willard, will come to the plate. Willard reached on a fielder's choice and scored in the first inning. Drove home a run with a sac fly in the 3rd, singled in the 4th. Aiden's had a good night. We'll look at some other games across the PGCBL. Niagara Falls leading Niagara 4-0 in the top of the 8th. As that one is hit to right field, that'll get down for a hit. That's cut off by Muncy. Willard takes a hard turn around first. He'll stop there. Good job by Muncy to cut that off and hold Aiden Willard to a single. But again, the Oilers, 2-out offense just continues to shine in this game. And the inning continues to Brian Carruthers. Carruthers has 2 runs driven in on the night. He had a sac fly back in the 1st that scored Derek Stout. And an RBI double that drove in a run in the Oilers' 6-run 4th. First one to Carruthers is fouled back. And at the end of this inning, some excitement here at Bradner Stadium as the Oilers will announce the winner of the raffle. Let's see who wins the all-new Olean Oilers Chevy Trax. It's a raffle that's been going on all season long. 0-1 pitch is in there for a called strike. So Carruthers is behind 0-2. Willard short lead off of first. And the 0-2 pitch. That one low. Of course, we know the power Brian Carruthers had. There's a handful of youngsters over the left field wall. They don't want to miss a chance to catch a home run ball here. The 1-2 pitch fouled back. Of course, we've seen 2 homers hit over that particular spot of the outfield wall. Cooper Tarley did it in the first inning, and then Christo Hunsaker decided one wasn't enough and did it in the fourth. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Brian Carruthers, and the pitch from Barron is low, ball 2. That one hops into the dirt. Again, very short lead off of first for Aiden Willard. 2 balls and 2 strikes for the Oiler catcher, Brian Carruthers. Barron rocking back and forth on the mound. 2-2 pitch. High and inside, ball 3. Carruthers able to check the swing, ball 3. Brian does a good job to restrain his swing there. Aiden Willard will be off with the pitch. And the 3-2 to Carruthers. Low, ball 4. Carruthers with a great at-bat draws the walk and keeps the inning going. Brian Fleming will get a chance to hit in the 6th, and he's had a good night. Fleming was walked in the first inning and scored on the Cooper Tarley home run. Then in the 4th inning, singled and scored as well. First pitch to him here, swing and a miss. This has been a stellar offensive night for the Oilers, and they're looking to throw one more punch before we head to the 7th inning. 0-1 offering to Fleming. That one swung on and fouled away. So Fleming behind 0-2, but again, the Oilers have done a phenomenal job with 2 strikes and 2 outs in this game offensively. So Chase Barron's really going to have to work still to finish off Fleming. And the 0-2 pitch is swung on and hit on the ground to short, and he will win. Jackson Ross will win the race to the bag for out number 3. Well, the Oilers do bring 2 more home to score. Oilers lead the Jamestown Tarp Skunks 13-3. We're headed to the 7th. All right, here we go. Top of the seventh. Oilers defense is already rolling as the first pitch from Nate Muncy snared by Christo Hunsaker at first for the out. One down. Again, with the Oilers leading by 10. If Olean can get 2 more outs without surrendering a run, this ball game is over. And the Oilers will head north of the border, having won 3 straight. Which would also be 8 wins in their last 9. Again, the Oilers are 7-1 in their last 8 games coming into play tonight. That over the last 2 weeks since the loss here to Elmira a couple weeks ago on the 10th of July. Mark Holm pitching to the third baseman, James Dixon, and the first pitch to him is a called strike. Oilers have scored 13 runs on 12 hits, have committed 1 error. Jamestown, 3 runs, 2 hits, 2 errors. Again, the Tarp Skunks scored 3 in the top of the third, made it a little bit scary for the Oilers. After Olean put up 4 in the first. But since then, it's been all Oilers. They scored 1 in the bottom of the third, 6 in the fourth, added 2 more last inning. 1-1 pitch from Mark Holm. That one fouled. Chris Laeta started this game through 2 scoreless innings before running into some trouble in the third. Mark Holm came in to start the 4th inning and has been in since. One ball and 2 strikes to the third baseman, James Dixon. The pitch, high, ball 2. Well, since coming into this game, Mark Holm set down the first 6 batters he faced, hit Nolan Smith with a pitch to start the 6th, but has retired 4 straight since then. And strike 3 called. He freezes Dixon for out number 2. Jamestown down to what could potentially be their final out of the night. Mark Holm picks up strikeout number 7 on the night. And Jackson Ross, the final hope for Jamestown, 0 for 2 with a pair of strikeouts. First pitch taken up high. Again, Mark Holm, since coming into the game in relief of Laeta to start the 4th inning, he's allowed 1 base runner. The hit by pitch to Nolan Smith, that was it. The 1-0 pitch from Holm, low, ball 2. Bonifans definitely excited about what Mark Holm is going to bring them for his senior year in the spring. He has been outstanding in the Oilers bullpen this summer. 2-0 pitch. Inside. Did that hit him? Yes, it did. Just barely clipped Jackson Ross. So Ross has, Ross reaching base for the first time. Talking about Mark Holm in this, his 4th inning of work in the game. He's pitched 3 2/3, has only allowed 2 base runners, both hit by pitches. But he does have 7 strikeouts, though, so I think you'll take that. And the 10-spot batter, C.J. Dugan, comes to the plate. First pitch to him is swung on and hit to left center field. That is down for a hit. It's cut off in center by Fournier. Throw back to second. Almost got Jackson Ross, but Dugan gets a hit. So Jamestown trying to keep things going. And they flip over the lineup card to bring up Grant Moore. Grant Moore was hit by a pitch in the 3rd. Came home to score. Other than that, 0 for 2. A strikeout in the 1st and a ground out in the 5th. Holm trying to finish him off and send the Oiler faithful home happy. Even those who didn't win a brand new car tonight. That one is swung on and fouled. Couple of cash awards given away as well. One lucky fan going home with $2,500. Another lucky fan going home with $1,000. So congratulations to everybody, including the winner of the brand new car, which has been quite the fun raffle to have this season. 0-1 on the center fielder, Grant Moore. And a pitch from home. That one skipped in the dirt. Carruthers able to keep it in front. Mark Holm just trying to finish off Grant Moore. Moore started this game, of course. Was first batter of the game, struck out on 3 pitches against Chris Laeta. He takes the pitch for a strike. And Jamestown down to their last strike tonight. One ball, 2 strikes. Holm just needs one good pitch to finish him off. The 1-2 offering. Swing, and did he hang on to it? Oh, just got a piece of it. Moore just barely gets a piece of it to stay alive. Oh. And I mean barely gets a piece of it. So again, 1 ball, 2 strikes. As Holm tries to finish off tonight for the Oilers. 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. There's your ball game. Mark Holm picks up the strikeout to finish it off. What a game in relief for Holm. And what a game by the Oiler offense. A 13-3 7-inning win. The Oilers beat the Jamestown Tarp Skunks 13-3 in 7 innings, as the Oilers will announce some more of the drawing prize winners. Again, we did not anticipate that this game would be done in 7 innings. The plan was to announce these during the 7th inning stretch, and obviously we did not have one tonight. The Oilers, with the win, improve to 19-17 on the year, and for the moment, move ahead of the Elmira Pioneers for 4th place in the West Division. Elmira does look like they are on their way to a win tonight, leading 17-2. Jamestown, on the other hand, dropping to 24-11-2. They have lost 4 in a row. And the Batavia Muck Dogs, with their win, with Batavia's win and Jamestown's loss, the Batavia Muck Dogs are your West Division champions in 2026. So Batavia wins the division title with their win and Jamestown's loss tonight. Jamestown looks like they are pretty much locked in to the number 2 seed. So the Oilers again jump to 19-17. They've won 3 straight and have won 8 of their last 9. And it looks like they'll still be tied with Elmira for the 4 spot. So remaining for both of these teams on the year, the Oilers will be on the road tomorrow. They will head north of the border to take on the Niagara Ironbacks at George Taylor Field in Ontario, 6:30 tomorrow night. The Tarp Skunks will return home to face the Geneva Red Wings at 6:30 tomorrow. Then on Sunday, it's the end of the regular season, as the Oilers will return home to host the Niagara Falls Americans at 4 o'clock on Sunday to finish off the regular season. Jamestown's regular season is done tomorrow. They host Geneva in that 6:30 game. That's the last game of the regular season. So the Tarp Skunks locked into the number 2 spot in the West Division. The Batavia Muck Dogs are the West Division champions, but the Oilers still looking to fight for a higher spot in this West Division at Niagara tomorrow night at 6:30, home against Niagara Falls on Sunday at 4 o'clock. Oilers with a stellar offensive showing. including that 6-run fourth, a couple of 3-run bombs, and the Oilers mercy ruled Jamestown 13-3. They have won 8 of their last 9 games. Well, that will do it for us at Bradner Stadium. From all of us here at the Olean Oilers, we thank you for tuning into this broadcast of Oilers baseball. The Oilers win it 13-3. They've won 3 in a row and 8 of their last 9. We will catch you back here for the regular season finale on Sunday at 4 o'clock when the Oilers face the Niagara Falls Americans. Until then, this is Matt Volz saying good night and go Oilers.